Welcome to Sabor Astrology with T and Shay, a podcast for the soul. Today, we'll be talking about how to balance life with the current cosmic energies. And without further ado, I'd love to pass la taza to T for the transits of the week. Welcome, T.
Hi there. It's so good to be here. Hi, Shay, and hi, everyone. Welcome to Sabor Astrology. We're happy that you're back with us or that you're new with us. And so we're going to be talking about transits for the week of September 27th to October 3rd. Yes, we are already in that season, which is like, how did that happen? Where did the summer go? What did we do? What are we doing now? Right? So there's a lot going on. So it's not only it's transit wise, it's all together, right? Because nothing can be separated out, although we try to compartmentalize as people, like how do you deal with one thing when other things are going on? However, many things are going on for a lot of us at the same time. So we just want to put that out there. So the first transit that we're going to talk about is Mercury in Virgo trines Uranus and Taurus, and that's from Saturday the 30th to Sunday the 1st. What comes up for me with that is that mindful thinking and careful choice of words really soothe the heart and relationships during this transit. Taurus has been going through it in the last few years with Uranus's disruptive changes. We're expecting changes when Uranus is sitting right, in Taurus, conjunct in the same house, in the same placement, but yet they're still unplanned for. It's not like we can see what the disruptions are that are going to happen before they happen, right? So usually Taurus energy is very staid. They're comfortable in the world that they've created for themselves. And yet the energies are saying, oh, no, 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 no. Things have got to change. You've got to change with the change that's coming up. So with Mercury in Virgo, Mercury is very quick. Mercury is very agile. So thinking of that, I'm thinking just in your approach, be kind, be mindful. There's no need to push something that's already being disturbed towards your way of thinking. Let go with the flow of the sweeter, natural ways of I'm thinking water actually. Again, it's interesting because we're looking at air, we're looking at earth, and of seeing water, which can help to soothe. So during this transit, be the ointment, the healing ointment. Don't be the fly in the ointment that can create more disruptions. So that's what's come to me for this particular transit, Shay.
Yeah, soothing. That's so soothing to this aspect. It brings some intensity in our thoughts, but with that intensity allows space to spend time internally in a way, spending time studying or getting more introspective as well. Use that soothing energy that T was talking about with this aspect of internal introspection, inner work. We're able to find clear solutions in terms of situations or issues because our mental space is kind of like energized during this time, or there might be a push for us to just be more clear in the head. And this can allow us to tackle problems, situations. New ideas can also come in during this time around health, work, routine, and how to structure these aspects of our life. And they're available to us. So use a soothing energy, introspective energies here to work through any problem solving, any new ideas, anything that you're learning at the moment, anything that you're spending time with that is like you're investing time in yourself. These are the things where you can use those two energies to bring equilibrium.
Thank you. So then we're going to go right into, which is just so natural, right? Mercury in Virgo conjuncts the sun in Virgo, and that's from the 1st to the 3rd, Tuesday. Mercury's agility and quick-witted ways, they're brightened even more by the sun, right? In Virgo, they're sitting together, they're planning and they're doing, they're planning and they're doing. And conscious planning can be the key to moving forward in a thoughtful manner. And that's the perspective you're going to get from me as a Taurian. Always thoughtfulness, mindfulness, steadfastness, right? It doesn't have to be that quick all the time. Mercury rules Virgo, and the sun's beam on the south, the ego, even toward the id, can be problematic. And it may be not for the person who's affected by this prism of light, but maybe by the people that are around them. They can be affected by it. So be aware of those who are around you. There's more to us than just us, right? We share energy fields with each other. So let's give each other some slack. Depending on where your transit is in this, in your personal life blueprint, make sure that you've given yourself some time to be and not just plan and not just plan and not just do and not just do. The mind, contrary to popular thought, needs time for ideas to be well thought out. And it's sort of like when you're cooking, you want to saute what you're doing, right? Saute those juices rather than just being a flash in the pan and being so quick. So that's my share for this particular transit.
Anytime we talk about food, I'm gonna always say
Just
delicious.
flavorful, right?
That's my thing.
Flavorful transits.
There you go. That's beautiful. And see, I want to go back a little. You mentioned kind of like as your Taurian nature, the things that you mentioned, and we will get more into that as we go through this podcast, how different people show their nature through their sign. And it's so interesting because you definitely live out the way that you described it. So it's just interesting. I'm more of I need more water. I need more peace and calm, and it's just different as a Pisces. So I love that point that you made. And with this transit going back to Mercury and Virgo conjuncts the sun, there's a creative opportunity here, as well as a heightened sense of intuition, and also becoming social butterflies with our most intimate circle, or those that are in our tribe. For example, some of us may feel calling on a spiritual gathering or retreat, having vulnerable conversations with those who we feel safe, feel protected and heard by, as Mercury is in Virgo and is next to the sun in Virgo. So I'm getting an image of us being wrapped around by like this comfortable blanket that we can actually have and show who we are, have these honest conversations. So this will bring that in, and it could be about self, or it could be about the bigger and larger things in life during this transit.
Okay, great. Mercury in Virgo opposes Neptune in Pisces from Monday the 2nd to Tuesday the 3rd of October. That's always a goodie, right? When Neptune is in Pisces. And this transit, for me, my thinking, it can bring some confusion, feeling of being stymied. And instead of trying to accomplish things, I would suggest taking time to meditate, to write, to journal, or even go swimming. I mean, that is so good with Neptune and Pisces, thinking about the water. And you spoke about the water, Shay. So it's like going with the flow instead of trying to flit through this transit. If there are important tasks that you need to do, maybe you can put them aside for a little bit, just a couple of days. If you owe work to someone and don't feel that you're as crisp-minded as you'd like to be, you can say that. You can say that out loud, let them know what's going on. Maybe you need a little bit more time. Everybody has different, limit setting and parameters that they need to work through. So if this works for you, it's okay to say that. Pisces can bring a sense of confusion to some people, and it's a good time to just sit with what is, Sometimes there's no need to do anything, but just to allow yourself to be. And that's what comes to me. They're opposing each other, right? Mercury and Neptune. I see the image of going fast in the sky, and then I also see although, Virgo is earthbound, but also Neptune, what's the depth of it? How deep can you go with it? Because there is the mystics of Pisces. There is that magical depth that you want to afford yourself of. So it's like just like being quick again. It's like what I said earlier, sauteing the juices. You don't have to actually like just, cook that, really quickly. Like, let it simmer.
Beautiful. Yeah. We're preparing some food here, everyone, with the transits. I love it. And with this transit, the flavor that I'm getting, sabor that I'm getting is not for us to get too loopy as we're in this transit, but more hypnotic, meaning for us not to get too much into like, oh, not being able to get in so loopy, we're not focused. Hypnotic is more like you're still loopy, but you're focused. The mind might want to escape during this transit and might want to reach deepest dreams, and it will catapult us to realize how to get there. But the challenge is actually getting there, because it's like we're in this Neptunian world. Could get elusive, could get a little bit watery. And then Mercury and Virgo is like, well, how can we make this more legit? How can we actually make this dream real? So that's going to be this push and pull with these two energies. There's a feeling of being detached from the earth plane. So we have to be mindful of that, because that can affect us if we're too much in the higher ranks of things and we're not down on earth. Virgo wants to be on earth. It wants to think practical. So if we're bouncing too much up and not so much down to earth, it can create some imbalances, some overactivations that are not the healthiest for the mind and body. So it's good for us to keep some level of equilibrium during this time. Especially vital we take good care of our bodies and the mind and connect through our senses. So connecting to all of them, like in the morning, being grateful that you have all your senses, and working with them throughout the day to stay connected, to stay grounded.
Thank you for that. I love that. When you say grounded, you know that I'm going to perk up.
My moon in Taurus is like, girl, stay grounded.
Yeah, so it's interesting
Be real.
Yeah, and I have that, ascending Scorpio, and with Neptune sitting there. So it's like I'm there. It's like I can be grounded, but at the same time, I am just like on the opposite end, just very in that other world that you were describing. Next one is Mercury in Virgo trines Pluto in Capricorn, and that's from Tuesday the 3rd to Wednesday the 4th. So again, Mercury is known to be quick, it's light-footed, and it rules Gemini and Virgo, and fast-moving, fast-doing. However, Pluto is in Capricorn, and that will lend a deep rumbling from the Earth. The Earth moves powerfully. Air and earth are not known to have the closest of relationships. They find their own shapes, right? They find their own meanings, and they don't really merge that well together. So give this transit a period of time for Mercury and Pluto to do their thing. Life can go on without your input, and that's okay. And it just seems like I'm saying like over and over again, take a step back, take a step back. And that's the message that's coming. I may not like that because I'm a doer. I'm actually a doer. So I may not like this message, but it's like sometimes you just have to put things aside and say, you know what? Let other people do, let nature take its course. My mother used to tell me Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's like I used to hate that when she used to say that. She's right. So she was right. She still is right on the other side of the veil. Okay.
Yes. I think that's the most grounded visual I can get, right? Of like this whole empire being built. I mean, it takes brick by brick. So let's take that image and really apply it to our lives. How will we apply it and take it brick by brick, material by material, things by things, moment by moment, and see how that feels, even in the world where we live, where we have to do and hustle. And sometimes we don't have that time, like T mentioned, to take a step back, but allow that imagery to come in and help you to ground. With this transit, don't get caught up too much in the net. And what I mean by that, don't get caught up or hung up on one idea. This is why with this transit, our ideas, our thoughts are going through a major process of transformation that leads to renewal. So try not to get obsessive over one thing. move yourself out of that. See why, what other perspectives are there with this transit. This is a great time to seek profound answers from within and from professionals. So what I mean by professionals is a therapist. If you're going to therapy that day, it's going to be awesome. Or if you are a therapist like T, it's going to go well, because this is a transit that pushes some level of renewal and transformation that is digging deeper into the psyche as well. So here, Mercury wants to learn while Pluto wants to transform. So you can think about that. Mercury being like fast, 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 and then Pluto being very, very slow, very slow. So it's like working with that fast movement of Mercury and Pluto to create that transformation.
That's really great. Learning while transforming, right? It's a process.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
We can't make
Whole
it
process.
happen. Like it's not a instantaneous, right?
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And as long as we are open to see different perspectives during this transit, it will open us up to different things in profound ways for us to heal, for us to learn, for us to explore in our life.
I really feel a relief listening to you. You're very soothing, Shay.
Thank you.
This is so good. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
So one more transit. We'll both talk a little bit about the full moon in Aries, which is happening on
Oh,
Friday, September 29th, but not yet, right? First, we'll talk about Venus in Leo squares Uranus in Taurus from Thursday the 28th to Sunday the 1st. And Venus is in Leo. She's out of retrograde. She's forthright. She rules Taurus, so she's comfortable in this earthy domain, right? This is like her place. She is feeling good. She can make things more palatable. She can make things more pleasant during this transit. She can be comforting. She also can show us possibilities, opportunities that are arising from Uranus's shocking behavior in Taurus, right? It's like every time something happens and another thing happens, and it's like, I get this image. I have a set of tarot where she takes that crown off. We've talked about this before. She takes the crown off. She's sitting there just in the garden of earthly delights. Be comforted by that again with Venus. That's what I'm hearing. If you've been hurt because of, something that's occurred during all of these Uranus actions, remember that it's like a shenanigans. It's something that seems like a shenanigans. It's like, what? Another thing, what? Another thing, except that it's for our betterment, right? This is all to help move us, the collective, forward to a new way. And Venus, shows the goodness that can come out of these new things that are occurring and remind us that all is not lost. So I get the image of her, like showing her heart, right? Venus in Leo, she shows us her heart, which is just so beautiful. Like for someone to actually do that, because that's usually, something, some entity, some energy, the planet, this is something that many of us do, is like to protect our heart, right? We don't want to be hurt again. And she comes and she shows her heart. She takes off her crown and she says, I'm here for you. So that's what I have with this particular transit.
I always love that imagery. Is it the Empress card? I think it was the Empress card in your deck, right?
Yeah, I will get it and I will show it.
I would love to see it because the imagery is so comforting. It's like so beautiful. With this transit, the flavor that I'm getting here is this day we should allow flexibility to come in. The word flexibility, right about that. What comes up? What is flexibility to you? Rather than throwing the punches in your relationships. What I mean by this is with this square, I mean, it's not too detrimental, but there is it could get a little bit toxic if there's too many demands. Like if one person's demanding more than the other and the other can't exceed those demands or expectations, it could go to rolling in the punches here. But if we allow, instead of the toxic, or I wrote down toxica, toxico energy, if we get out of that, we are able and work more with the flexibility. We are going to be able to really work with the challenges in our relationships. And maybe those challenges are not even that big of a deal. We're just making them a big of a deal because Uranus wants to make it a big of a deal for us. It might just be one thing, and just allowing flexibility to dissolve the punches. That's what I am getting to here, the imagery, to consider some challenges you experience in relationships and see where can you be more flexible or where can you be less flexible. This is also a great time to explore the arts, explore the things very beautiful. You might seek opportunities of around art or seeking love, and it might come in different ways. So allow flexibility again in that. It's a great opening for us, though it is a square. We'll get through it and we'll work through it as best as we can.
So I'm going to take a minute to show the card that I've been talking about, which is Regina, which is the Empress card. And this comes, you see how her, she's just sitting there with the crown on her lap. Her heart is sitting right out there, the dog of loyalty. The eagle is there, the fruit, the bountiful fruit, right? She's worked hard. This comes from the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, which was designed and illustrated by Robert M. Place. So this is a very, just a heartfelt card, and I just wanted to share this. He does great work. He also does teaching on tarot, and he has several different sets, Robert M. Place. And
that's a beautiful card.
Isn't that gorgeous? Like she's like in relief here. Like what beauty, right? Just sitting back in her splendor and in the things that make her heart feel loved, so that she's then able to give, which then leads me to my favorite card in my deck, which is the kindness card, right? Caridad. So this card, it's calling to me to show it today. And really like this here, I see these as the waves, right? They're coming in and out. You never know what the waves of life are going to bring you, the goodness, the difficulties, but they wax and they wane, right? They ebb and they flow. They come in and they come out. But it's always, with love. Like, what are you handing out? What are you receiving? This rose of beauty, of love. Is it for you to accept for yourself, or is it for you to extend to someone else, right? Because we're always giving and we're always receiving. So this is a card in my Graciela La Gitana Oracle deck that is just coming to me to just say hello, to
So
give you some love. So that's this for now.
Oh, so beautiful. I love it. I love the Empress card. I love the dog in the background. It's so cute. I've had a lot of experiences with dogs this week, so like loving on them, them loving on me. So it's so interesting to see that little dog in the back of the card.
Yeah, that's like an amazing love, the dogs. I was talking before the podcast about my Ginger and my Chutney, and they're both, 15, or Chutney will be 15 in February, and they're getting on, but I just was like loving on Ginger this morning. I was, just
so cute,
bringing her energy in, and she's such a little she's the last of Abso, so she's such a little tigress, but she was allowing me to do that today, which is so good. So the last thing that we're going to talk about for this particular podcast is the full moon in Aries at 6 degrees on Friday, September 29th. And this is the dynamic moon. It's full of vigor, it's full and the fullness of life. The energies that one feels from a full moon such as this will be different for everyone. So take stock and not just say, wow, I'm going to take advantage of this energy. It's like, wait a second, reflect for yourself. It's like, oh, I have the energy with this full moon to run up the Statue of Liberty to do that run. It's like, really? Like, do you reflect on your needs? What are your needs really? And plan accordingly, right? It's going to be different for everyone. Aries can be known to be impulsive. Sometimes does too much. It's just like out there, just like jumps, right? So, how does the full moon affect you? Think about that. Are you not feeling well? Are you feeling on top of the world? Know yourself and to thine own self be true, right?
Mm.
Allow others to be themselves during this moon. Try not to convince them to come out of their comfort zones if they're not feeling it, right? If they're not feeling it, that's okay. Do you? Um, Aries is an energy that's known to spearhead and it goes forward with quickness, only known to fire, right? And fire can just like burn things down like really quickly. So don't let impulsivity be your downfall. Again, my suggestion always during the time of the full moon is to meditate, to celebrate and give thanks for the where you are in the lunar cycle. What has been behind you, what is coming towards you as in terms of waxing and in terms of building your beautiful dream. So that's what comes to me with this particular moon.
So Neptunian, I love it. I love it. So poetic too. This full moon is, I'm getting red, like such a red, not in color, but just like the energy that radiates from this full moon. And as going back a little bit to the basics of Aries, Aries is the one, it's the first sign in the zodiac. So it rules the first house. So this full moon asks us to release things that stand in our way from us being the one, us being truly like the one, the person who we truly are in this world, while also giving us a sense of energy and renewal here. And also gratitude, because the full moon is not only, oh, can I manifest all these things? Can I do all these this type of work to elevate my energy? No, we also have to work with gratitude during this full moon, because what we've learned since the new moon is now coming to fruition for us. So we have to look at where we are in that, reassess what have we done to improve things for ourselves. How can we be more grateful of the self through this full moon, and also how to celebrate the self during this full moon. In the full moon with Aries, there's this emperor energy that's about really standing in your throne in a way, building that up with gratitude. Because if the story to me is that the emperor worked a lot to get to where they are now. So we have all of us in different ways. So be grateful for where you are in your position in this world and what you bring and initiate as well. And celebrate is going to be different for all of us, but enjoy the energies as well.
Right. We're going to take a moment to just talk about what we're reading right now. So Shay, you want to go ahead?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I happen to get a hold of the copy of Las Madres by Esmeralda Santiago from my local library in Brooklyn. And I didn't think it was going to be as good as it is. This story it's between two different settings, so New York and Puerto Rico. And it's like a tragic, beautiful story. And I resonate with it a lot because I grew up in a mainly with women, and this story talks about five women who by destiny, by tragic, by sorrow and loss have found each other in this community. So I'm only like maybe 50 pages in or more. And I look forward to continue to read this book. But if you're looking to read a really good book and start this journey, this is a very beautiful book. It also talks a little bit about trauma, and some of the darker things we experience in life, but also talks about the good things that we experience in life and how to be more grateful. And I think some characters here actually have taught me how to be more grateful. Talking about great gratitude in the full moon have taught me how to be grateful, how to be more graceful with things, especially like the older sage in here. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the book, and I just can't wait to share more of it with you all. And thank you to the author, Esmeralda Santiago. You did an amazing job. If you get to watch this episode.
That's so great. That's great. And I'm reading one of her books too. I have that particular one on hold at the
Okay.
library. So, as soon as it comes through, I'm going to be reading it. But right now, I decided to read When I Was Puerto Rican, which is her first novel. And, that book was out in 1993. And I think that I don't remember if I read it then when it first came out, but I knew that just the title brought so much up for me. Think about when I was Puerto Rican. I'm still Puerto Rican. Like, what is that? And I remember when I was a teenager, well, when I was a kid, like I always thought that I was Puerto Rican. It was like that's what I grew up knowing I was, even though I was born in New York. And then my cousins who were born in New York, they went to live in Puerto Rico and they came back one summer and they said, "You are not Puerto Rican, you are New Yorican." And I was like, "What?" And then all of this, political crazy about being Puerto Rican, being New Yorican came through. And you'll even see on my own bios, in my different books in different places. Sometimes I write I'm Puerto Rican and sometimes I write I'm New Yorican. I mean, it's just craziness. And anyway, getting back to Esmeralda Santiago's story, it is just so like heartfelt. The story of this young girl and what she's going through in Puerto Rico. I mean, I don't know if she, at the end comes to New York or whatever yet. I have no idea what that is, but like the simplicity of her words and the story that she tells, um, like I feel like she knows my story. Like I feel like I share her story. Things are
Mm.
tough for little girls, with responsibilities, with having expectations and Latino families. And she really just encapsulates the experience in her words in this book. So as I, continue to read, I'll continue to talk more about it. And I'm hoping that we can actually do her chart and, get to know more about her writing. And we will do that in the probably add it to the pantry and library that we're building. So that's me with my reading today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to add, this is her newest book. It came out September. Believe it was no, not September. It came out this year for sure. It came out, oh, it doesn't say. Yeah, it came out this year. So it might be a month or 2 months has been out. Yeah, it's great.
Great. It's so good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we have for
Yeah.
today for you. And we'll see you again next week. Is there anything you want to add about events or anything like that?
Yeah, so we have a couple events. So T has a panel coming up October 6th. And I will be linking down the information where you can register. So that will be October 6th. Am I correct? Yeah, October
Yeah,
6th.
Rivers
Yeah.
College.
And then on October 13th, I will be collaborating with Dr. Emily C. from Emily Grace Acupuncture. I will be providing tarot readings there, and she will be providing free ear seed treatments as well as a plant sale and other goodies as well. And then on October 21st and 22nd, I will be offering Tarot 101, the 78 keys and symbolism. And this is a 2-day intensive tarot class. So join me, and it's on October again, 21st, 22nd. You have a option of it being online or in person in Chinatown, New York City, and it's from 2 to 6 p.m. on those days. So it's a full weekend where we can learn and expand together. And I will be linking the information as well below.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Okay, so thank you everyone for spending this time with us. We appreciate you always and appreciate any questions or any comments that you have. Please put them down below and on or send them to our email. All that information is down below. And again, like, share, subscribe. We're here for you. Con mucho, mucho sabor. As always, we love you and thank you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to Sabor Astrology with T and Shay. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.